I perhaps should have covered this during the search section, but I rarely use the facility, but it does exist. There's a so-called menu search. If you want to do basically a very complex search, filtering on multiple fields at once. Now, most of the time you don't need to do that, but potentially, if you have a huge number of notes that are quite similar, but only discriminated against on particular criteria, then the menu search could be very, very helpful in terms of narrowing that subset of notes, or ideally the unique note that you're after. So if I just show you just in these junk notes that I've got here as a demonstration, we have these two notes here, some other note, some other file. As you can see, the metadata on them is very, very similar, but they are different. Now, obviously, we can see the note IDs are completely unique, so you could immediately, if you happen to know those, you could immediately discriminate on those. But obviously, most of the time, you won't know the note ID unless you've just happen to be working with it. So, but you may know, for example, that the class of note that you're interested in is information Y, not class information X. I don't know what these category labels mean because they're just made up, but the point is, you can use the class or indeed any of the other fields to create meaningful categories and labels that make sense in terms of your mind and the way that you want to organize your knowledge information. So to run a menu search, we just do Wibble search and either menu or capital I. And then it just basically gives you an interactive prompt where you can enter whatever values you want to filter on that particular field. So, if you happen to know that the date is going to be 28th Nov, you could literally type that. But let's assume you don't know that. So any field you don't want to search or discriminate on, you just press enter. I'm going to leave... well, let's say we've typed some other. This would still give us two candidate matches. No ID, who knows? Discrimination, who knows? Description, I should say. File type, who knows? They're both MD, so, well, let's put it in. Project, who knows? Tags, but I do know, for example, I'm looking for information Y, not information X. So it should, at this point, only give us that second note, because out of the list of these some other titled notes that happen to be both a markdown type, by this point, if we filter on information Y as the class, that should in theory discriminate down to just one single note. So anyway, I enter my way through, and there you go, it opens that one single kind of note, which happens to contain a bit of junk text I copied and pasted off the MindForger website, because I've just been researching on how to maybe create some scripts and things to make it easy to integrate the Wibble markdown tree to use in conjunction with MindForger, because it is quite a nice little GUI viewer for dealing with markdown files. But anyway, so that's the menu search. So very useful for extremely complex or detailed searches where you want to filter on multiple metadata fields, multiple criteria. So this will obviously particularly show its value once you have a very large number of notes. Once you have many hundreds or thousands of notes, this might become increasingly useful.